Welcome to the Just Nuke It podcast. Are you ready for another apocalyptic probe into the fringes of flash fiction?
Always.
This week, we're plunging into two tales, two worlds on the brink, where survival gets kind of weird and desperate.
It's a really fascinating contrast, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like how the world ends, but how societies deal with what's left.
Yeah, like what comes after the boom.
The aftermath, both, fighting to survive and how they change inside.
Exactly. So, first up, imagine, right, a world with no sun, just like eternal night. And the only light comes from these neon-lit cities, the last bits of humanity clinging on.
Ooh, that's a visual. I can already see it.
Right. And we're diving right into that, into Chasing Daybreak, this flash fiction story about teen bikers, these neon riders. They live and breathe rebellion. Literally. They're powered by neon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they're on this crazy quest searching for a legendary city of, like, pure light. It's like Mad Max meets Tron with a dash of, desperate hope thrown in.
High stakes.
Big time. But it makes you think, what makes people fight when even the lights are dying out? What does being defiant even mean when you're facing, like, total oblivion?
That's a good question. And the neon thing, it's so interesting. Like, it's fragile, man-made, and yet it's all they have against this huge, scary darkness.
Totally. So then we switch gears big time. We go to Paradise Cracks, this story about Eden, the last utopian city. But it's not some outside force that's the problem. It's like rotting from within.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, and a forbidden love affair, that's the catalyst. It starts peeling back the layers of this perfect world. And what's underneath is, well, it's dark and disturbing.
Kind of the opposite of what you'd expect from a paradise, huh?
Right, and it makes you wonder, what happens when perfect is built on a lie? Can people ever escape their own nature, even when everything's controlled,
That's a great question, especially after the chaos of that first story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe the real danger isn't out there, but what we create ourselves.
100%. So buckle up, because we're taking you on a wild ride through two very different apocalypses, two very different ways of fighting for survival. Let's launch this apocalyptic probe. And we're starting in the shadows with the Neon Riders in Chasing Daybreak. What grabbed you first about this story?
Well, the world building, for sure. It's so vivid, post-apocalyptic, darkness everywhere. And these tiny neon cities barely holding on against these shadows.
Yeah, the shadows. Creepy.
Definitely. And then you've got Blaze, our main guy, in his town, Haven. Right from the start, you feel how desperate they are.
Oh, absolutely. The story describes Haven's power source, the single neon generator, as the heartbeat of defiance, this little pulse against the darkness. But then it also calls it a countdown clock.
Right, so it's hope, and it's a constant reminder that they're running out of time. Talk about pressure.
Seriously, it's like this weight hanging over them, especially for Ma, Blaze's, I guess you'd call her his guardian. She's worried sick about him.
Yeah, you can feel that. And for Blaze, it's like he wants to be free, be a kid, but he's also got this responsibility to his people.
Classic teenage angst, but with an apocalyptic twist.
Exactly. And it's probably why he's so drawn to Echo, this mysterious outsider who shows up with tales of a city bathed in, like, never-ending light.
The whole City of Light thing, it's a common story, right? Like, is this guy a savior or just selling false hope?
Right. But what's interesting is how everyone reacts to him. Most of Haven, they're so beaten down, they just think he's crazy.
They've seen too much.
Yeah, they have. But Blaze, he's young, and he's desperate for something real, something brighter than the fading neon of Haven. So he chooses to believe.
Because what else has he got?
Exactly. So hope, that's what drives him to get his crew together, the Neon Riders. You've got Flicker, the tech whiz, who can do amazing things with their limited neon.
I love the image of him tinkering away in his workshop, all wires and glowing scraps.
Yeah, he's like their mad scientist, but with a good heart.
Then there's Jinx. Total badass, all silent intensity.
Adds a cool mystique to the group.
For sure. And Blaze, he's the leader, the spark. He's got that youthful rebellion, but also this deep-seated hope. It's a potent mix.
They're like the perfect little apocalypse gang.
Seriously. And they head out into this abandoned world on these cobbled-together bikes. You can just hear those engines sputtering, the neon humming.
I love that detail, the humming neon. It's like their lifeline, but also their weapon.
Yeah. And then, of course, there are the shadows. These terrifying things born from the darkness, the story says, moving like oil slicks, which is just, ugh.
Super creepy. The oil slick thing, it really gets to you. It's like they're not solid. They can just seep into everything, consume the light.
And they're a constant threat. There's this moment when Jinx almost gets taken. And Blaze, he just reacts, uses a huge chunk of their neon to save her.
Which is both heroic and reckless. Like, they can't afford to waste that neon.
Yeah.
It shows how much he cares about his friends, but also how high the stakes are.
Absolutely. And after that, the doubt starts creeping in. You can feel it. But then things change. The shadows, they back off, and the darkness ahead, it starts pulsing.
Like it's alive.
Right. It's this turning point in the story, this flicker of hope when things were looking really bad. Classic storytelling.
It definitely gets you wondering, what's causing that? Is it the City of Light or something even weirder?
And then, bam, they reach the top of this rise, and there it is, the Eternal City. A blinding, vibrant pulse cutting through the eternal night.
Talk about a contrast to Haven. This is like pure, raw light. Imagine seeing that after a lifetime of darkness.
I know, right? It's like all their dreams come true. But then, well, it gets complicated. As they get closer, they realize this city isn't a safe haven at all. It's under siege. Hordes of shadows just pounding against these invisible barriers.
It's like that line from Flicker, it's not a sanctuary, it's a last stand. Chilling.
So much for paradise.
Right. It's a reminder that hope doesn't always equal an easy solution. Sometimes it just means a harder fight.
And Blaze, he's got this choice. Run, save themselves, go back to Haven, or stay and fight. And he thinks about his people, about Ma, and he makes his decision. We ride.
So much for logic.
Right. It seems crazy, suicidal even. But he can't turn his back on people who need help. It's like he realizes hope isn't about finding a safe place. It's about fighting for one.
That's a huge shift for him. He's not just running away anymore. He's taking a stand.
Totally. And then what follows is, well, it's epic. They charge into the shadows, bikes roaring, neon blazing. The story calls it glorious, desperate madness.
You can practically see it, this last stand, everything on the line. It's their courage, but it's also like this primal scream against the darkness.
Yeah, and then something unexpected happens. This huge surge of light from the city, this pillar of light just wipes out the shadows, almost like a miracle.
But they earned that miracle, by fighting, by sacrificing. It's like their bravery somehow tipped the scales.
I love that. And in the aftermath, Blaze is spent, their neon's gone, but the darkness has retreated. And there's this detail I love. The broken pieces of their neon sigils they're left behind, glowing in the city.
Like a little echo of their fight.
Yeah, and a reminder that they made a difference. They weren't just some chosen heroes, the story says, just kids with cobbled-together bikes and more rage than sense.
But sometimes that's enough.
Yeah.
Just that raw passion, the refusal to give up.
So powerful. It's a reminder that even in a broken world, even the smallest act of defiance can matter.
Exactly. Sometimes the fight itself is the spark.
Okay, so we've journeyed through that neon-lit darkness. Now let's go to the other end of the spectrum. Paradise cracks. What's our first impression of Eden, this perfect city?
Well, it's all about order and control. Everything's calibrated, perfect. Sunlight, hydroponics, people working like clockwork. It's like a well-oiled machine, but made of people.
And we meet Maya, who's a biotechnician. Her whole job is keeping this artificial balance going.
Right, which is like textbook dystopian. Right. Everything seems great, but it's all about control.
100%. And then there's Kai, this outsider who shows up, and he's like this burst of raw energy. He's not sterile and controlled like everyone in Eden.
Yeah, he's a wrench in the works.
Totally. And he and Maya, they start this secret relationship. They sneak around, have these intense moments among the perfectly engineered plants.
It's like their connection is this little crack in Eden's perfect surface.
And it represents something Eden tries to suppress. Real, genuine human connection. Passion. Kai asks about the outside. He makes Maya curious, makes her doubt.
That's dangerous in a place like Eden, right? Questions, doubts, they can lead to chaos.
And the elders, the ones in charge, they see that. They try to separate Maya and Kai, manipulate things.
Classic forbidden love story.
Mm-hmm.
But with this added layer of societal control, it makes you think, can you ever truly control human nature?
Right. People want to choose who they love, who they connect with. Even in a perfect world, that need doesn't go away.
Definitely not. And then, bam! Kai disappears, vanished, and Maya, she confronts Elder Saren, and that's when we learn about reconditioning.
Chilling word.
Oh, it's terrifying. Basically, if you step out of line in Eden, they erase your personality, your individuality.
It's like brainwashing, but with a nice sanitized name.
Exactly. They make it sound like a good thing, a way to keep everyone happy and in line. It's a classic dystopian move, control through language.
So messed up. But Maya, she's not giving up. She gets into the archives, and that's where she discovers the truth about Eden. They weren't survivors at all.
The twist.
Right. Turns out they were the ones who caused the apocalypse. They unleashed the pathogen on purpose.
Wow. Talk about a betrayal.
It changes everything. Eden isn't a haven, it's an experiment. The elders aren't wise leaders, they're monsters.
It's like the outside is this wasteland because of them, and then they create this perfect society based on a lie.
So messed up. It's like, which is worse? The chaos of the outside or the cold, calculated control of Eden?
Right. There are no good choices.
Yeah.
It makes you question everything about utopia, about the price of control.
And then Cray comes back, but he's empty. His spark is gone. He's been reconditioned.
It's heartbreaking. You see what Eden does to people who don't fit in.
And it pushes Maya over the edge. She sabotages the life support systems. It's this desperate act of rebellion.
She's basically choosing to destroy Eden rather than let it keep going.
And the elders, they just accept it. They're calm, almost serene. It's so creepy.
It shows how detached they are. They don't see themselves as responsible. It's just an experiment to them.
So cold. And Maya, she escapes with Kai, goes through the portal, and she doesn't even look back. It's this powerful image.
She's done with Eden. She's choosing the unknown, even if it's dangerous.
And she realizes that real survival, it's not about control. It's about the stubborn tenacity of the human spirit.
It's like she's saying, yeah, the world's messed up, but people are strong. They adapt. They find a way.
And there's this tiny flicker of hope at the end. Kai, he starts to show a little recognition, like maybe the reconditioning wasn't total.
It's a tiny thing, but it's huge. It shows that even after all that trauma, there's still hope for healing, for connection.
It's beautiful, in a way. So there you have it. Two very different apocalyptic stories, two very different ways of looking at survival.
Chasing Daybreak. It's about that raw, youthful defiance, fighting for light in the darkness. It makes you wonder, what would you do to keep hope alive when all seems lost?
And then Paradise Cracks. It's a warning about the dangers of control, of trying to create a perfect world. It makes you think, where does real freedom lie? Is it better to face the chaos outside or be trapped in a gilded cage?
Big questions.
For sure. And both stories, the main characters, they challenge the way things are. They make these huge choices, even if it means destroying everything.
It shows you how powerful people can be, for good or bad. We can destroy, but we can also overcome incredible things.
And that's what makes these stories so compelling. They make you think about what you fight for, what kind of world you want to live in, even if it's not perfect.
Flash fiction. It's more than just entertainment. It's a way to explore those big questions about humanity, about ourselves.
Absolutely. So go find some more of these stories, dive into these different worlds. You might be surprised what you discover.
Always something new to find.
Thanks for joining us on this apocalyptic probe of the Just Nuke It podcast. Rate and follow the show, and we'll see you next time with more captivating stories from the fringes of flash fiction.